Basic Understandings of Weaving. Chapter 1, Weaving Motions. This slide shows the schematic diagram of the woven fabric. As a concept of woven fabric, we should know about the definition of the weaving. Weaving is nothing but the interlacement of warp and weft yarns. Means woven fabric is formed by interlacing two mutually perpendicular sets of yarns. The vertical yarns are called as the warp yarns and the horizontal yarns called as weft yarns. Whether this diagram also shows the schematic representation of the weave on the graph paper. If we see the first warp yarn, the position of warp yarn is over the first weft yarn. Means the warp is moving over the weft yarn. This will be indicated as filling the block or putting one mark in a column and the interlacement point. This diagrams also shows the one up one down movement of the warp yarn over the weft yarn. Weaving process consists of 5 basic motions, out of which 3 are the basic or primary motions and 2 are the secondary motions. Here the first primary motion is shading. Shading is nothing but the separation of the warp yarns into 2 layers. The shade is formed to pass the weft insertion element through it. Hence the definition of shading is the separating the warp threads into 2 layers to form the space for the weft insertion, which is called as shade. Shading is performed by the tappet, cam or dobby. The second primary motion of weaving is picking. In picking, we are inserting the cross weft yarn with the help of shuttle or modern picking elements like air jet, rapier, water jet. In short, the picking is inserting the weft thread through the shade. The last primary motion is beating up. After insertion of the weft yarn, the warp yarns changes their movements from top to the bottom and vice versa. Beating up is nothing but the pushing the newly inserted weft yarn, known as a pick, into the already woven fabric to the point called as the fabric fell or cloth fell. The another 2 motions which are categorized as the secondary motions are the let off and take up. Here it is necessary to continue the weaving process. Without these 2 motions, we cannot continue the weaving process. Hence, the warp letting off is nothing but the delivering the warp to the formation zone at the required rate and a suitable constant tension by unwinding it from the weaver's beam. Cloth taking up. The formed cloth should be winded on a cloth roller. In cloth take-up motion, the moving fabric from the formation zone at the constant rate that ensures the required pick spacing and winding the fabric onto a cloth roller. In this diagram, we see the schematic figure of the loom or passage of weft yarn. Here the components of the loom are shown. The first is the warp yarn, second is the backrest, third is the drop wires which are used in warp stop motion, 4 are the number of hilts. Normally 2 hill frames are used to produce the basic weave which is called as plain weave. Fifth is reed and 6th is the shuttle. Here we see the shade is formed by the displacement of the hill frames from upward side to the downward side. Then through this shade the shuttle is passed. Now 8 is the fell of the cloth. The formed cloth is taken from this area and winded on a cloth roller with the help of the take-up roller. The fabric rests on the breast rest or front rest, it's called. So here again we see the description of this schematic diagram. The warp yarn 1 from the weaver's beam 12 passes around the backrest and goes through the drop wires of the warp stop motion. See, by this way the passage of warp yarn is described. With the help of held frames, this warp sheet is now divided into 2 layers, which is called as shade. Then it passes through the reed, which holds the threads at uniform spacing, and it is designed for the bit up the pick, which is inserted into the triangular warp shade 7. Here also we see the concept of bit up with the help of sleigh. The mechanisms which are responsible for bit up is called as crank bit up mechanism. The mechanism which is responsible for picking up shuttle is called as picking mechanism, and the bit up mechanism, it's related to crank, is only used in the shuttle looms. At the end of the slide you should be able to explain what are the different motions of weaving and the diagram of the loom or the passage of weft yarn. Thank you.